Are you coming down to Table Rock Lake to fish at the end of July, beginning of August? You got a tournament coming up, coming here for vacation, and you want to know what to throw? Well, let me show you what I got tied on. Now let me preface this by saying, I'm not the best source of knowledge, all right? Not the best source of knowledge for Table Rock Lake. There's a lot of anglers out here that have channels that give you, daily reports of tried and true methods. You got Heinz Fishing. He's been doing really good lately. Pete Winters, he's been around forever. He's a legend out here on Table Rock. He's been putting information out. Low IQ, I really like his channel. He's been putting out some good stuff. Now, Modern Outdoors Tackle up there in Nixa, they've putting out information all the time. Tried and true methods that work, right? Now me, out of the last 20 years, 12 of those years I've lived in Japan. So most of the baits I throw are Japanese techniques, Japanese baits, or inspired by Japanese baits. I absolutely love them, and I love testing out new methods. I like trying new things. A lot of people don't like that. They don't like change, and that's fine. You absolutely do not have to throw anything that I'm throwing. But if you're interested in it, these are good suggestions for Japanese style baits to throw on Table Rock Lake. So let me show you what I got tied on right now. First one, probably can't see it because I don't have the actual bait on there, but a Neko rig. I throw that on like 8-pound test fluoro, and this is the bait I've been using right here, the Big Bite Baits Neko Rama. This has been the best Neko rig worm you can use, hands down. Now what I do is I take that bait, this is the bag I've been using, and I fill that thing up with the Takuito's bite powder, and it makes this thing smell wild. All right, it smells wild. It smells like ebi chips. If you ever go to Japan, or they got them in the States now too, all over the place. Ebi chips, shrimp chips. It's kind of what it smells like. That powder will stay on that bait when you throw it out there. It puts this like membrane over the bait, and when the fish bite that, they hold on. Like, hold on. It's definitely worth getting and trying out. You won't be disappointed in that. And now the Neko rig has been by far the best bait I've thrown. I'll go out to main channel points that are gravel main channel points, and I'll throw it out there and let it sink to about 15 feet, and I'll just start bouncing it back to the boat, right? Usually around 20-ish feet, somewhere around there, I'm getting bit. Now with that, you are not setting the hook when it comes to a Neko rig. You're not setting the hook like that. You're going to pull that hook into the mouth, because they're going to suck that thing in, and you're trying to get it into the top of their mouth. You're not trying to pull it out of their lip, right? Pull it. Pull it. Don't set it. Pull it. You're going to get a lot of bites, but you will miss a whole lot of fish. It's just the way it is. I'll make sure you put, I use a 1/8 nail weight. That's what I use for the front of that. All right, what's next? What's next? You know what? I haven't tied it on, but I use a buzzbait. Now this one's from Nori's, who also is the people that make the Taku bite powder. Japanese company. I like this buzzbait because it has these little lip things right here. It gives it a little more craziness when you're bringing it through the water. Now, whopper ploppers are like the way to go out here. They're tried and true. But a buzzbait, I just love throwing a buzzbait. I love throwing a buzzbait. And at night tournaments, these work so good. I'm going to take this off actually, but I was using that drop shot, right? We got our drop shot here. Now, I'm not going to be throwing this. This is the little Bambusa from 6 Cents. I've been using that a lot lately. Super good when it comes to smallmouth. But I'm going to show you another bait that I'm switching out for this for tomorrow. And it gets a lot of hate, but I'll tell you right now, it's a fish catching machine. and that is a fuzzy bait, a dice bait, right? This one is the G-Crack Q-Bomb by Alton Jones Jr. Now, a lot of people don't like these, all right? And the reason they don't like them is because of how much the American companies are pushing them now. But they think everybody's going to say, oh, that's like the Banjo Minnow, right? Everybody, that's what the online discourse is right now on these. Couldn't be further from the truth. If you're not throwing a fuzzy bait in Japan, you're not catching a fish. Plain and simple. And that you might think, well, that's Japan, right? American fish, I can catch fish all day long in America. True. There's a lot of information out there. You should watch this or listen to this podcast called Science of the Strike. They do a good job of explaining this. They talk about fuzzy baits in one of their episodes, but their last episode, they talk about bass and their memory and how we greatly over-exaggerate how much these fish remember. And check it out. There's a lot of information in there. I'm not going to ruin it for you. But fuzzy baits they work. And the reason they work is, think about this. Think about this bait, right? I'm going to throw it on a drop shot. Now, most people think you're going to throw it out there and just let it sit and let the tentacles go all over the place. That's not the case. I'm going to go out there just like I am on the Neko rig. I'm going to go into a gravel point. I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to let it sink. And then I'm going to work that. I'm going to work this bait just like a jerk bait. I'm going to give it a twitch pause. So when you twitch this, the skirt, right, is going to do one of this number. Twitch. And then when you pause it, all these skirts are going to open up real big. So it's going to be like twitch, pause. When that pause happens, that's going to make that bass strike. He's going to be like, what is that, right? He's going to go after it. Fuzzy baits work. Don't believe all the negative comments online. You don't have to use them if you don't like it. But you know what? They're pretty similar to that jig you're throwing. It's just a different perspective there. Fuzzy bait. Throw it. Speaking of fuzzy baits, actually, you know what? I'm going to show you this one. This is the 6th Sense Hog Walla, right? The Hog Walla. But I've got it on a Jika rig. See that? The Jika rig. So what the Jika rig does, it has the weight up here in front of the hook. And when you throw that out there, the weight's going to drop, and then you lift it up, and it's going to drop, it's going to lift up. So what you're probably thinking, well, what's the difference of that when it comes to like, a Texas rig, Texas rigged weight? Well, with the Jika rig, that bait's falling, same distance, go to a gravel point, 15 feet. It hits the bottom. That bait's going to float, kind of like a Carolina rig in a way, right? So it's going to float there. And then when you lift it up, that bait's going to do this. Drop, up, drop, up. It's going to stay more on that horizontal plane as you move it through the water column, where apparently the bass love that horizontal bait. They love that stuff. Who am I to argue with science there? I don't know. My other bait that I've been using is, let me show you where it comes from first, before I show you what I've done. I've been throwing these in the Ozarks, these big plum, the Berkeley Power Bait. This is not it, right? This is the 10-inch Divine Shaky Head. That's what I've been throwing a lot. But you can see it's in like a plum color. Out here, the Berkeley Power Baits, like 12-inch ribbon-tail power worms. Summertime, it's staple, like plum colored ones. I've been using these Shaky Head Divines, and they've been doing great. But they've been getting bit off a lot down here, right? So then I've only got this much left of the worm. Now I ain't got a lot of money. So when it comes to losing half of this worm, I got to repurpose it. And actually, I learned this from a guy in Japan a long time ago, how to repurpose your baits for us poor people. And it's the fuzzy bait thing, all right? So if it bothers you, I'm sorry. But the fuzzy bait, right? You take a rubber threader like this, or you could just use regular needle, right? But I love this rubber threader. It's from Japan as well. Goes in the bait, so much smoother. It pulls the rubber through without breaking it or ripping or anything. I love it. But I kept it on the same big shaky head hook. Okay, that's a huge hook for this little bit of a worm, right? That's only like 6 inches, probably 5 inches. But when I put all these skirts material, the little fuzziness through there, it kind of hides that. And then this still has so much action back here, especially with all that rubber. And I'll tell you right now, that I love it. Absolutely love throwing this. It looks kind of like wild in the water, kind of looks, like centipede-ish, right? And I've been having so much fun catching fish on that. Change your bait up a little bit. Change your bait up. Make it look a little bit different. You'd be surprised how well that works. It's not a gimmick. I'll promise you that. It's not a gimmick. That's what I've got tied on. I literally pulled it out. That's what I've got tied on right now. And those are what I've been catching fish on out here in the middle of summer when it's like 100 degrees out. Main channel points, throwing it on the gravel and bringing it out. Obviously, you got to move around sometimes to find the fish, but when you find them, they're usually together, and those baits have been doing great. So if you're interested in throwing those baits, reach out. I'll give you some more information if I have, but I'm going to go fishing. I'll see you on the water.